We are so close to CBDCs. We are so close to AI being integrated with CBDCs and social credit becoming a universal concern. We are so close as a society to you going to a gas station and trying to buy some gas and saying, sorry, you've already filled your tank this week. You can't do it again. Old Klaus says you'll own nothing and be happy. They say this is the only way to prevent a climate catastrophe. They say this is the only way to run the world moving forward. And we have whole nation states like China pursuing it.
Look, this is not a pipe dream. This is actual reality. And guess what? All of these organizations that are using this technology for other asset classes, guess what? They're worried about privacy. They're worried about scalability. All of the things that you're worried about when it comes to money. You are seeing a lot of politics play in some of the challenges.
So my advice to any organization who hasn't started thinking or looking at it, start. Do not delay, right? This is coming.
And when there is pain, you buy more. Unless something changes the thesis that suddenly we're all going to turn to Neanderthals and nobody's going to use technology ever again, it is going up.
And then along with that, bringing market makers to make markets between those currencies, cross currencies. We've already been pretty successful there. We have about 7 institutional market makers already. Now it's really kind of filling it up with banks.
Which is this payment systems that you had a session with Ripple. Tell me about it. I mean, like, Paul Zello, Ripple. I was like, how did these two come together?
It's a multi-trillion-dollar problem that if I solve it, I make a lot of money. I've been Ripple, but also I make a difference. And they're the clear winner currently in that cross-border, the clear winner.
And when there is pain, you buy more.
Enjoy the ride, pal.
If you got some bags, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock News. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra. Bullishness. Shout out to the latest sub. We got Shane Evans in the building. Appreciate you stopping by, stuffing some bags, smashing them likeys. Go ahead, throw on those moon suits, throw on those pilot shades. Buckle up, because the future's extra. Bullish. Let's go full speed, full throttle into the cryptoverse. We got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 1.49 trillion, up about 0.1% in the past 24. We got the total trading volume in the last day at 58.3 billion. We got XRP in that number 5 spot right around 60 cents. We got Stellar right around 11-12 cents. BTC 37,737. We got ETH right around 2K. XDC still right around a nickel at 0.048. We got Flare Networks right around a penny. Songbird 004499. We got one from XRPL.to to kick things off. Big updates coming to the Ripple version 2.0. Now heading up to 4,300 transactions per second in the lab environment. Welcome sidechains with XLIST 38. And step into the future with XLIST 40 decentralized identity. Ripple XRP Ledger server version 2.0 coming soon. And if you see here on the Ripple website, XRP Ledger technology can handle up to 3,400 transactions per second. And We Say When says he believes that the largest of the transaction he's seen in the ledger while I was indexing the BitQuery data set was around 1,100 something transactions in one ledger. 4-second close time, roughly 300 transactions per second. PS, those transactions per second, 4 to 300, whatever high number, is in a controlled environment, not in a global mesh, and depending on the type of transactions too. Simple XRP to XRP payments, no path-in, local test nodes, etc. XRP, scalable. Yeah, one from Riz XRP, huge question on the mark of CBDC. CBDCs must be looked at very closely. Ripple, our freedom is being stripped on a daily basis. God bless America.
What's the point of your own life? What type of world do you want to live in? Where do you want to live? When is it too far? When are you in the pot being boiled? We are so close to CBDCs. We are so close to AI being integrated with CBDCs and social credit becoming a universal concern. We are so close as a society to you going to a gas station and trying to buy some gas and saying, sorry, you've already filled your tank this week. You can't do it again. Sorry, you've already bought this thing. You can't buy anymore. Sorry, you belong to the wrong group of people. You're not allowed to buy that. Sorry, you pay a different price than this other group of people because you're in a different part of the grievance hierarchy. It's not a hypothetical thing. They write papers about this. They talk about it. Old Klaus says you'll own nothing and be happy. They say this is the only way to prevent a climate catastrophe. They say this is the only way to run the world moving forward. And we have whole nation states like China pursuing it and giving us paint by numbers reality for that. The very same people doing that, people writing policy papers about how the United States needs to do it. and creating a step-by-step guide to do that. And that is something that's going to happen in the next 10 or 20 years if we're not careful. I'm old enough to remember how 2 weeks to slow the spread became papers, please. And we had to show vaccine cards to go into Starbucks. Remember when people said such a thing would never come to pass in the United States, but it did. It's fragile freedom. And technology's gotten too good. Globalization has gotten too pervasive. And corporations have gotten too big. Governments have become too esoteric and unaccountable. And the bureaucracy of governments is more powerful than any elected official. That's a universal truth for most modern society. The social contract upon which modern constitutional republics have been founded and democracies have been founded is becoming unraveled, and it needs to be renegotiated and reestablished. The whole point of the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry, every single one of us, is to establish a new social contract where our liberty is preserved and protected, and we do not live under a technocratic tyranny. That is the point. That is the reason labors exist. That is who we are. And a lot of good people go to work every single day to try to preserve and protect that. They're not criminals. They're not evil people. They're not shitcoiners. They're not here to steal from you. They're here to try to make the world a better place.
Let me know what you guys think down below. Is the CBD system going to be used as a means of control to implement a social credit system similar to what they're doing in China, or does it come down to the power of the few versus the power of the many, or is it just really who's controlling these technologies and will they use them for good or evil? We got one from 801 XRP, the Atlantic Council, U.S. leadership in digital assets. Truly believe that it's inevitable that you'll see the tech get to the money because the Holy Grail is actually put the money and other assets on the same rails. That's what you're really looking at to unlock the real potential, thus the technology.
Globally, and what is the interface and the experience that maybe retail consumers or the average person is experiencing that is also driving potentially policy abroad.
Yeah, so first of all, I think, we've been in the space for now 9 years, and where you've seen a lot of advancements in the usage of the technology is in non-money related assets. So bonds, private equity funds, structured products. And over there, you're already seeing the value of the technology. So I truly believe it's inevitable that it will get to money, because the Holy Grail is to actually put money and other assets on the same rails. That's really where you unlock the real potential of this technology. So I think that one of the biggest issues that this industry had, specifically related to this technology, is that 5 years ago, there were so many promises on how this is going to change the world, but there was nothing to show for. So a lot of people really put this technology into the bucket of, a bunch of crypto bros that are just pumping coins. I think now you're actually able to show demonstrable use cases, not even use cases. I think when you say use cases, it sounds still like an experiment, but actual asset classes that are processing hundreds of billions of dollars of transactions on a daily basis. You're seeing reconciliation being reduced. You're seeing operational risk being reduced, settlement risk being reduced. So I think that having these other asset classes that are already using the technology in real life is helping, at least for digital asset, when we're having conversations with the Fed, with the OCC, and with regulators globally to say, look, this is not a pipe dream. This is actual reality. And guess what? All of these organizations that are using this technology for other asset classes, guess what? They're worried about privacy. They're worried about scalability. All of the things that you're worried about when it comes to money. So I actually think that, very similar to Paul, you are seeing a lot of politics play in some of the challenges. But I will tell you that at least behind closed doors, we are finding much more open ears. And now the fact that you have use cases that are showing real results is really helping propelling this forward.
This is not a pipe dream, and XRP's perfectly positioned to take that position to move value 24/7, 365. No more middlemen's, eco-friendly, the second coming of the internet of value. What the internet did for information, the second coming will do for value at an exponential rate. I hope you got your bags packed, locked and loaded. We got one from Swift Community, the race to T1, your guide to getting ready. Big changes is coming to security markets worldwide. In just 6 months, the US, Canada, and Mexico are making the leap to T+1 settlement, and institutional globally are bracing themselves. Don't miss out on the latest T1 update, expert analysis, and pro tips to power your preparations. It's coming faster than you can ever imagine. We got XRP drops. T+1 is a huge step in the financial world. For what happens to those who don't switch from T+2 to T+1?
They're losing a day.
What happens if they're not in compliance with these rules? Are they not able to transact business? What happens?
So they will transact the business. They're going to need to throw more manpower at it, right? And if you throw more manpower in a general operational resource shortage that we have in the market right now, who are you going to throw at it, right? So you will be dealing with errors. You will be dealing with fines. There'll be quite a lot of things that could potentially go very, very wrong. So my advice to any organization who hasn't started thinking or looking at it, start. Do not delay, right? This is coming. It's unavoidable.
Right.
This is coming. It's unavoidable. And those who have eyes to see, XRP hidden in plain sight was already chosen. XRP, know what you hold. We got John D, and the best part of this quote is, don't F this up. As great as that is, the best part is learn to take the pain. Great advice, don't panic, but instead learn to take the pain, and while others are crying, continue buying.
Again, don't fuck this up. Just be careful. Just buy, hold, have a long-term time horizon, and learn how to take pain. And when there is pain, you buy more. Unless something changes the thesis that suddenly we're all going to turn to Neanderthals and nobody's going to use technology ever again, it is going up. It's as simple as that. And unless something changes that we're not breaking the financial system and that the internet has disappeared, we will go to blockchain technology. It's as simple as that. That's all you need to know. Everything else is just fucking noise.
Send this to a friend. It's going up. Load up while you still have some time. Don't F this up. We'll see you at the tippy top. Get ready for XRP to shine. We got Dan Rocky. According to Flare Labs, that the beta test on the Costa network goes as planned. F assets are launched on Songbird Q2 2024. Amazing accomplishments so far, Songbird. We got an update from Flare. A giant step for the Flare is underway. F assets will play a major role in growing the AIPX. We're so excited to utilize them. Congratulations on the milestone. F assets beta now live on Flare Costa and testnet. A milestone for 800 billion of crypto assets. The system will allow for tokens like BTC, XRP, and Doge to be used trustlessly with smart contracts on Flare, earning yield in the DeFi dApps. F assets testing initiated, enabling smart contracts for tokens without them. ISO 20022, let's do it. SEPA equals 2.6 trillion per day. Ripple crypto-enabled payment solutions. You know what's coming. They know what's coming, and they can't stop it. The European Payment Council has also made progress through the SEPA instant credit transfer system and update to the original SEPA. XRP, just a small piece of the prize, gets us the double and triple digits.
Yeah, we just announced that we signed up CBW out of Kansas and Cross River Bank out of New Jersey. And obviously with banks, banks are rightly careful about any new technology for regulatory purposes and for stability purposes. So, these conversations do take a while, 6 months to a year, we think, to really sort of introduce the concept and then how can it be applied and then starting talking about pilots. But we're really pleased. These are the first U.S. banks now on the Ripple protocol. So we think we are starting to get our message out there that these new technologies, distributed ledgers, really can be seen as alternatives, really viable alternatives to correspondent banking. And that's very powerful for particularly smaller banks that otherwise have to rely on correspondent banking.
Okay. So am I right in thinking the strategy is then to get kind of a nationwide deployment of Ripple? And if so, how is that going to work? What's the strategy?
Yeah, so the strategy really is now first try to get a bank in each of the key regions of the world. Because if you can connect one bank on ACH in the US to one bank on SEPA in Europe, you have effectively connected all of the banks on those two networks. So you really get a multiplier effect. Now we have this Fedor out of Germany on SEPA, and we have now these two US banks on ACH. Now we got to work on China, we got to work in South America, India, and really continue to spread it and get to some of the bank networks. So definitely getting banks as gateways to bring currencies onto the platform is very important. And then along with that, bringing market makers to make markets between those currencies, cross currencies. We've already been pretty successful there. We have about 7 institutional market makers already. Now it's really kind of filling it up with banks.
We're on the cusp of something massive, the greatest transformation of all value in history of mankind, the greatest opportunity of multiple lifetimes. You're either in or you're gonna get left behind. We got ISO 20022 Banks commentary on the potential Ripple partnerships after good news from the SEC case. You know what's coming. They know what's coming. And they can't stop it.
Is the one most recent post, which I commented on your LinkedIn, which is this payment systems that you had a session with Ripple. Tell me about it. I mean, like, Paul Zello, Ripple. I was like, how did these two come together?
It's a really good question. and all this blockchain stuff and I don't get it. I'll be the first to admit it. But I'm trying to understand. My 32-year-old son, who's a bit more savvy to all of this stuff, he put his hard-earned dollars in buying some shares in Ripple. And he doesn't part with his money easily. In fact, he'd rather buy these shares and pay the money he owes back mum and dad, which I wasn't really impressed about, but that's another story. But that sort of made me stand up and take a little bit of notice.
Right.
And again, I'm not an expert on it, but I understand. They approached us some time ago, but at the time they were battling some legal battle in the US.
Yes.
And our position to them was, look, come back to us once that's sorted out, because you only get one chance at a first impression. And if this court case doesn't go well for you,
that's right.
So anyway, they got a good result in the US court case, and they approached us again. And look, we're going to have a bit more of a look at it. I'm not going to claim to be an expert on it, but we may look to promote their product. And again, it'll be buyer beware. We'll say to our members, look, here's this new technology. From what I can understand, it can generate real-time transfer of payments.
Yes.
And they seem to have a lot of checks and balances in place. At the briefing that I was at, where I did that post, there was a lot of representatives from the major banks that were very interested in it. So it is a real thing.
That's right.
But how that translates to meaningful solutions for our members, we'll only understand that in a bit more time.
All the FUD is being melted away. Meanwhile, XRP adoption is on the way. Got the ISO GOAT.
For the payment space, high volume, low value, not the Morgan Stanley Goldman Sachs space. The one that addresses, it's a multi-trillion-dollar space, by the way. $200 adds to a lot of money. But you're talking about 1.7 billion unbanked. 1.7 billion people don't even have a bank account, no matter how small the account is. And another 2 billion people underbanked. So they chose a space that said, not only do you have people outside of the financial system, and XRP being used as the bridge currency, because it was designed for that, is a multi-trillion-dollar problem that if I solve it, I make a lot of money, I being Ripple, but also I make a difference. And frankly, the reason I am so excited to work with that company is they can change the world. So that's their mission. They're not going to, it's very expensive, by the way, to have railroad tracks that reinvent the way cross-border payments are being done. So they're lucky to have a balance sheet for such a worthy goal. Having said that, look, I used to be an options trader. Options are wonderful things to have, provided they're not too expensive. They understand that the ecosystem is being built, exchanges that are worthy of that word, as opposed to fly-by-night exchanges in the middle of nowhere. So they are putting some money in that optionality of if that infrastructure gets built, it has two things. One is it legitimizes the space, and also you're making money on your investment. But I would say they are very smart in the way they're going about these options, but their main mission, where the money is being spent, is really laying down those railroad tracks that are very important. And no one, frankly, as I said, they can't pretend they occupy, they are store of value, just like Bitcoin is, obviously. But they're the clear winner currently in that cross-border, the clear winner. And that's why, as I said, though, I also say they could be the Netscape of the world, or they could continue to be Google from day one to where they are today.
XRP, the clear winner. We're here to make a dent in the universe. The trains left the station. XRP's clearly shaking the system. We got Crypto Bull 2020 XRP wave count. We were working on wave 3, which should top around 27 plus. Taking a look at the XRP chart here versus the BTC halving cycle. As you can see here, July 2016 BTC halving. As you can see, shortly after that, XRP went into this massive bull run. Same thing following the next halving around May of 2020. As you can see here, shortly right after that, about a quarter way in after the BTC halving here, you can see XRP started to ramp up. But we did have the SEC lawsuit come in right after that and shut it down. As you can see here, the first one. About a quarter of the way into this halving cycle, you can see XRP ramped up into this massive bull run, around 60 to 70,000% gains. And we're setting up for this next one here, even though XRP did not make a new all-time high in the previous one, largely due to the SEC lawsuit coming in and stifling American innovation. But if we take this box here from the bottom to the top, from the beginning to the top here, and we lay this over to our current cycle, we can get a projection of what's to come from XRP if it continues to follow this BTC halving cycle. And as you can see here, the Bitcoin halving clock, the next one's right around the corner, 2024 April. And if XRP follows a similar cycle here to the previous ones, we can project what XRP may do in the next upcoming BTC halving cycle here. And if XRP follows similar to what it did in the past, about a quarter of the way in, we should see XRP begin to ramp up into a bull runs and a possible top off going into the summer of 2025. Let me know what you think down below. The longer they take, the higher we climb. on that XRP rich list. Also, you can get any of this merch I'm wearing here over on the Bagman.store. Where will you be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open in 2024, the year of XRP and the year of the dragon rises to the occasion? Later, glitches. I am the XRP Bagman, the Moon Commander, currently up here on the mothership, stuffing some bags and enjoying the show. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, smashing them likeys for some more Moon O'Clock news. Hope y'all continue to stay extra bullish. Continue holding those good vibes. Remember to sell the FUD, vibe those bags, and don't forget to spread that liquid love. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to drop a subscribe. Drop a comment down below. All the OG diamond hands out there, drop a comment down below. Drop an elbow on that like button from the top ropes. I'll catch you up here, top floor on the mothership 589 for the moon party. BYOB. Be your own boss, bring your own bags, and be your own bank. Peace out, Ghost fam. Later, glitches.